Welcome back to the channel. So I was out yesterday on a call and had a customer at a house call me for this under the home HVAC unit. It's pretty long. It's probably 4.5 feet by 2 feet. I never did one like this before, and probably close to 2 feet tall. It's like a long triangle. But we gonna break it apart, take it apart, and see what's inside. Let's get started. So we're gonna start out with impact wrench. Don't remember what size bit this is, but it fits. So we're gonna start with that. Start taking the shell out. Oh, this is a 5/16. 5/16. Lot of screws. As you can see, I'm not left-handed, but I like to use it so I can just improve using my left hand. They say it's supposed to increase brain function when you use the opposite hand. So I try to use it as much as possible. Especially when I got little projects like this one. Never know when your dominant hand will be incapacitated and you have to use your left hand. I've had to use my left hand primarily for probably 2 months because I had an issue with my right hand where I couldn't use it, and it was basically bandaged up out of use, so I had to learn how to do everything with my left hand right, feed myself, amongst other things. So if you want to challenge yourself, use your less dominant hand to work with. I think I got all of them out. That's one panel off. What are these? Feel like I'm riveted in. This out the way. Let's see what's inside. All right. There's one more right here. Oh, that's hooked to that. Oh, well, be all right. But anyway, here's all the circuitry panel with all the controls and stuff. Used to go on swimming. But your scrapyard, most scrapyards got an AC price that if you just want to turn them in whole, and you got to make sure they're drained of the Freon fluid, oil, whatever you want to call it. And they do have a set price for that. But if you want to increase your profit margin and make more money, it's best to take it apart and dissect it yourself, because you got a nice amount of number 2 wire right here that stretches all the way down to this. It's your fan motor. It's the fan hamster wheel, like to call them, on that side. And then on this side, it's got the motor. And you know, pop that off. But I don't bother with taking these motor out. You could take it out of the blower frame and get more for the motor weight. I just throw these in as dirty aluminum, because a lot of time these shafts right here are rusted up and you have to remove this nut right here, and sometimes they'll slide off this wheel, and sometimes you have to beat them off or cut them off if it's rusted up there. But I don't even bother with it. I just usually cut my number 2 wire off and throw this whole housing in for dirty aluminum. And if you do decide to take the motor out, you can take this motor apart. Usually they have copper windings on the inside. This one has a bit of steel. This back end is going to be cast aluminum, but I've seen people go as far as taking out the windings in hopes that they're copper, so you can make a little extra money from that. This ACR, or aluminum copper radiator, that's what it stands for. This one has the copper tubing running through it, and this outside mesh screen looking part is aluminum, so that's why that has a separate price. Seen guys take the time to cut all of the copper out of the aluminum mesh to get more money. You'll get number two if you do that, but for me it's just not worth it. I just take the whole ACR and I cut these steel ends, these ends right here. Usually they're steel, and I take my Sawzall and just chop right through those, and it'll be clean. If you don't feel like doing that, you can leave those up there with the steel and you'll get a dirty price, which is a lot less. So if you want to make more, take time to chop them off. Okay, that broke off. Let me see if I can break this one off. That one came off too. And this right here, the steel covering, just throw that with your light iron or shred or 10 shred, whatever y'all call it where you're from. And of course the bottom is gonna be 10 shred. This little separation wall is gonna be 10 shred. And to continue, we got a nice bit of copper tubing that runs throughout of it. And this one has insulation on it. And for this copper tubing, you cut that off, you can get number 2 copper because of the oil and everything. They give you number 2 copper for it. You have a bit of brass. This little cylinder part right here, you know, you cut this out. You can get dirty brass for this because usually it's got like some steel inside of it. And this big black unit right here, they call them seal units. This is basically the motor that runs all the fluid through the system to make it cool and everything. And this basically has a motor in it, and it has the oil inside. And a lot of people do cut these open, pull the motor out, because it is a fair amount of copper inside, copper windings. A lot of work to get to them unless you got like some big machineries that can, you know, cut it real quick and crack it open for you, and you know, you can figure out a way to cut the copper windings out of the motor. The steel, you can throw this in usually with your HMS. Some of y'all take it as HMS. If not, go with your light iron. Like I said, this first time I did a unit like this. I'm not even sure what this part is, but I'm assuming it may be copper under this insulation. So we're gonna cut it open and see. So what I'm gonna do now is get all of my number 2 wire. A lot of it is held in with screws. I just cut it close as possible. Some of them are just little clips that you pull the wires off of. As you can see, I'm just taking some straight edge cutters and just cutting the wire out. You don't have to worry about getting all of it. As long as you get most of it. I'm just gonna put it to the side. Get us a nice little pile. There's also some little transformer in there too. You can pop that out. Throw those with your motors. Got some more cutting to do. There you go. We got a mess. Cut the ends. Cut the ends off. Side of it there. Throw that to the side. Got that one. Got that. Cut these off of the wiring that attaches to the seal unit. It's hooked up down here too. Cut that off. Work our way this way. I'm gonna just cut this right here in half. Save myself some trouble. That to the side. Pop these on. And that's a piece of aluminum. You can clean that up. Aluminum for that. Throw that to the side. Take our dirty motor, throw that to the side. Then I'm going to do some cutting. Take the old Sawzall. Where's my hammer when I need one? See if I can pop these rivets off of this. Yep. One more. Perfecto. All right. sucker weighs a lot. Yee. Been there with off the old-fashioned way. All right, cool. Drain water. Transformer out. Success. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the ends, give you an idea. You want to get it as close as you can to the steel. And just run your spark off. Down, and you're left with these little macaroni noodles. You can turn these in as ACR ends, and they do have a separate price. I think the average price is probably anywhere from 75 cents to $1 a pound for these, with the copper noodles left in the steel. But I just throw them to the side, and in my free time I pop this copper out of here to you know, make more money. This side. just that easy. Now we're gonna see what the breakdown is. All right, let's go over the breakdown. Start with the light iron. This is all the panels that all the good stuff was in. All this goes for light iron sheet, 10 shred, whatever they call it in your area. Probably might have about 100 pounds worth of light iron. Then we're gonna go to the good stuff. I got the blower and the motor. Like I said, if you want, you can pop these motors out, get a little extra for it. I don't really get into doing all that extra work, so I just throw the whole thing, motor and fan all together, as dirty aluminum, which I think I pretty much break even if I was to take the motor out, sell the motor as is, and then sell the housing as light iron. Of course, you can take the motor and cut it open and hope that it has copper windings in it, and pull all of the number 2 copper out of there and make a little extra money. Next is the ACR. As you can see, we cut the ends out, and I don't know if you could pick up on it, but you can see the copper edges in the tubing. So that goes as aluminum copper radiator, and it's clean when you cut the ends off, and you get more money for that. Unfortunately, the tubing that we took off, the one end right here was a piece of copper tubing that we cut off, and then this very end up into this hole right here was brass, and the rest of this, I put the magnet on it, is steel. So we're gonna throw that donut with our light iron. Next, we'll start, can't forget the sealed unit. That's the sealed unit. Probably weighs about 27 to 80 pounds. I just drained it. Next, we found this little piece, I don't know, but it has a piece of aluminum on its bottom side. The rest is plastic. So if you wanted to clean that up, pop those screws out, you can get clean sheet for the aluminum, and you can just throw the plastic in the trash. As is, you can get irony or dirty aluminum for it. Next, I popped off this transformer and I put my file on it, and as you can see, it's aluminum windings. So you might can get away with throwing it with your electric motors. A lot of yards take this and give you electric motor price, pending its copper windings. So you have to check. If it's aluminum windings, you might want to ask them. They're probably just going to give you a steel price for it though. Next is these are the steel ends that I cut off. Show you, put my little magnet on it. Magnet sticks. And these have a price. They're called ACR ends or radiator ends. As long as they're copper stuck in these steel ends, you get a decent price. Like I said, probably ranges between 70 cents to $1 a pound. This probably weighs maybe 3 pounds, so you can get an idea of how much that costs. But I just throw these to the side. With the rest of my radiator ends, got a big trash can full of them. And then when I find time, I just take a screwdriver or some pliers and pop all these noodles and throw them with my number 2 copper. Yeah, all of those are going to be number 2 copper. Most copper that's coming off of an AC unit is going to be number 2 because it has oil that runs through the tubing. So they downgrade it to number 2. Next, this is the number 2 wire. Probably got a couple of pounds. That's probably running, I don't know, roughly 80 cents, around that. Then next we have the dirty brass. I'd already cleaned it up as much as I could, but yeah, dirty brass. This end right here is magnetic. And inside, it has some magnetism inside of this. There's some magnetism. Then this little piece And then these were brass, but since it had all of this insulation and glue and everything, and it's a whole lot of work to try to clean that up, to try to get clean brass, so I'm gonna just leave it as is, and that whole pile will just be dirty brass. Was able to get a little bit of clean brass, these little nuggets that I cut off the copper tubing. Take some wire cutters and cut those off, so got a few grams of clean copper. Then last but not least, probably the most valuable part of the AC unit is your number 2 copper. You know, clean it up as best. You know, this has a little bit of insulated wrapping, whatever it is. It's going to be tarnished usually, and might have some solder and different things on it also, which downgrades it to number 2. If this was all clean, like out of some kind of plumbing apparatus where it's just water running through it, then as long as it's not tarnished, got a lot of paint and other foreign material on it, you could get number 1. But usually when you're breaking down AC units, you're gonna get number 2. It's gonna be tarnished. All of it has fluid that ran through it, so you get number 2, which is still a good price. You know, probably got maybe 5 to 7 pounds of copper. You know, average price has been going, it's been up. So for number 2 in my area, it's probably like $3.80 for number 2 copper. So if you got, I don't know, 7, 8 pounds, it's a decent piece of change. Same with the ACRs. With the prices up in copper, they might be pushing close to $2, anywhere from $1.75 to $2 a pound, and this one weighs maybe 30 pounds or so. But yeah, that was just an idea of how to break down an AC unit. Like I said, that was a style that I haven't broken down before. I'm usually used to, you know, these window units or these outdoor looking units, which I still have to break down also. Probably my next video, or one of them coming soon. I got a couple of electric power wheelchairs. This sucker right here weighs about 250, 300 pounds. So I want to see what's in these things. So I'll probably do a video taking those apart and see what kind of metals and stuff are in there. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hit that like, share, subscribe, and like always, want to give a shout out to all you dumpster divers, eBayers, scavengers, recyclers, beings of all kind, known and unknown, extraterrestrials, friends, family, loved ones. I'm Happy Scrappy. See y'all in the next video. Y'all have a great week, great weekend. Peace and love.